Hello, welcome to SwitchedOn, Paul speaking, and today we're going to have a special look at a game that is coming to the eShop next week, and that is Monster Energy Supercross 3, the official video game. Quite a long title on these ones. I got last year's title, obviously number 2, really enjoyed it. Had a few little faults, but you know, these sort of motorsport ports, unless your name begins with a G and ends in a D, normally have a few issues, whether it's frame rate or textures, and last year's game suffered a little bit with both of those, and let's see if this year's version can be improved. And spoiler alert, it certainly is. I've been playing this for a couple of days. Unfortunately, I got the code a little bit late, so I missed the review embargo on Friday, so there are some reviews floating around, but I'm going to review this in the week because there's actually a day one patch coming. When the game gets released on Tuesday. The game gets released on Tuesday, and the day one patch hopefully will be there by Tuesday. If not Tuesday, then Wednesday. And so I thought I'd hold off on reviewing this. So I'm going to just quickly show you around the game and see how it runs. And then what we will do, as I say, is do a full review middle of next week, just to give you a fair opinion. Because if you're picking this up digitally, then you're going to be getting that day one patch, and it's, you know, if it changes stuff significantly, then you want to know about that. If you're a physical collector, this has got a physical edition, which is actually quite a bit cheaper than the eShop version, and we'll come to the pricing in a little while. But yeah, if you look around, I believe base in the UK, maybe the cheapest at the moment, at around about £38-39. Certainly a lot cheaper than the eShop version on the store. So let's just have a quick race in the quick race mode. The loading times aren't too bad, probably a little bit improved from last year, I'd say. Still get this opening with the zany American commentators, but there's no commentary actually in the game. Just picked, I don't know, a random rider. Just as a disclaimer, I don't know anything about Supercross at all. So if you're a fan of Supercross, then this is officially licensed. You've got all the official teams, bikes and sponsors, etc. And this year you can actually be a female rider as well in your career, which is a first. So that's really cool. I'm sure there's plenty of females that like motorsport, of course. So let's have a quick look at this one. In a race, we're holding down the clutch with the L button, giving it some revs. When the gates drop, we're away. And obviously I'm on docked mode at the moment. You can see the graphics are a little bit blurry, but what is really impressive is this frame rate. Now, there's some confusion about the frame rate. I've had no official word on the frame rate, and I'm terrible at picking this stuff up technically as I slide off. Some reviews are saying it's 60. I've seen some reviews saying it's 30. I would say, from my point of view, without sticking a number on it, it is incredibly smooth and incredibly consistent in its performance. I've not seen a drop frame, no matter what is going on. And as I say, it's very smooth to play. So it could be 60. If it's 30, then it's absolutely rock solid at 30. And apologies, I know there's going to be people out there saying, you don't even know how to pick a frame rate. I don't, because mainly I don't care. If a game's smooth, then that's all I care about. Like, I play grid in 30 frames a second mode because I prefer the extra little graphical flourishes. Now, I know people, when I was doing my grid videos, absolutely were furious, and they can only play a racing game at 60 frames per second. Otherwise, it's the worst game ever. So, I don't know. All I will say is this is an incredibly smooth game. Really impressive to play, certainly from a performance point of view. Graphics are a little tiny bit blurry. There's a little bit of drawing in the distance, but honestly, this game is so much fun to play that you're concentrating so much on hitting these little bumps that I don't look much further than my handlebars. So I don't know, if you're watching playback and you think, oh, the texture popping is really bad, it isn't great. But honestly, when you're playing, don't give two hoots really. It's just a load of fun. So here we go, we're struggling, we're at the back of the field. We can see we're not plumb last, we're doing okay. For those who haven't played a Monster Supercross game before, there's a face plant again. You can turn off, these blue arrows are basically just help. These posts around the side aren't much help. The blue arrows are kind of a help to let you know what bumps to hit and where to land. So this game isn't all about just going as fast as you can. As awful as I'm playing this, I really apologise for my gameplay. Yeah, it isn't just about opening the throttle as wide as you can and just going as fast as you can. You should really be hitting these ramps to land efficiently. You know what I mean? Land on the downside of the ramp, and that's the best way to get your speed up. It's a hard game to play, I will say that, but it is really, really fun. I hope the engine noises are coming across as well. If I'm leave you in a little bit of silence at some points, then hopefully you can hear the really cool engine noises. And you've got really good crowd noises as well. You can hear like the crowd cheering. There is music. I think you can turn it off. I like leaving it on because I can imagine, if I've never been to a Supercross event, but I can imagine in the stadium they have this like music blaring out while the bikers are going around. So I find that quite realistic to leave the music on. I don't normally leave it on in racing games at all, but I don't mind it here. But as you can see, it's just there's a reverse a bit. You can see it's really smooth and really fun. Bike physics are really good. It feels really responsive, sometimes to a fault. So you have to learn the riding model, and it took me a little while. But what I find best, and this is kind of a rule of thumb in any even real life motor racing, is to brake really hard in a straight line to slow yourself down, and then just let your bike drift around the corner. I mean, obviously you can't do it on every single corner, but as a rule of thumb, slow down into the corner and then headbutt a post and go flying over the handlebars. No, slow down into the corner and then let off the brake and just sort of let the bike free wheel around the corner and then accelerate out would be my tip, certainly for most racing games, but certainly for playing this one. Because if you brake into a corner, you're either going to slide or you're just going to turn in too much and oversteer. So once you learn the riding model, it is such a fun racing game to play. And I've played quite a few bike games on the Switch. I like TT. Isle of Man TT is really good. MotoGP 19 is really good, and I would add this right up there in the best of the bike games for me. I've played. If you think I'm just sort of played this for 5 minutes, I haven't. I've played this for a good few hours over the last couple of days. I've had about 8 races in career mode so far on various tracks. And so yeah, this isn't just coming from, oh, this looks pretty. This is coming from a good few hours gameplay so far. And I'm going to carry on playing it over the next couple of days and then say get that review out in the middle of the week. On our last lap here, I've got 2 laps to go. I will just finish this one, and then just a couple of things I just want to show you around. Whoa, completely misjudged that. One thing I can show actually, the next time I go off, I'll show you the rewind function. The game does have a rewind, which they're unlimited. You can turn the feature off, but if you leave it on, they are unlimited rewind, so it really does help, especially when you're learning the tracks. I think we're a long way off catching the other riders up, but that's fine. The career mode is, I was going to say hard, but only in as much as the game is like quite hard to play. It's not just like a normal game. To say you've got to hit these ramps, you've got to know really the sort of physics of the bike, when to land, where to land, and how to land your bike, using the right stick here to adjust your body weight, which really helps, especially to line up when you're landing to get in the right position to take the next turn. So there is a technique you can use over the bumps. I didn't get it in last year's game. I couldn't get the hang of it. Still can't get the hang of it this year, but it's called scrubbing. When you go over like loads of little hill bumps, you're sort of meant to flick your joysticks left and right, and it does somehow help you transition over those jumps. I can't really get the hang of it. I just end up flying off the bike, but these ones here, you're meant to flick left and right. No clue. Right, here we go, opening up into a nice big wide patch. But I mean, I hope you can see from this sort of 5 minutes gameplay as we cross the finish line. It's super smooth. It's really smooth. I didn't see, there's no slowdown, no drop frames, just a solid performance. If it is 60 frames a second, and if someone can confirm that in the comments, because I'm going to upload this at 60 frames a second to YouTube, then what an achievement from Milestone to get this running as good as it looks with as many bikers on the track as there is, with a stadium, crowd effects, all that kind of thing. To be running at 60 frames a second is insane, and congratulations to those guys if it is. If it is 30, I still think it's a superb achievement. It's really fun, smooth game to play. So what I want to do now is just have a quick look at some of the features. Across the top, you've got the home menu here, which gives you some quick links. Single player mode we just looked at. Multiplayer has got online multiplayer. I think it needs that day one patch to get the multiplayer working. There's nobody in the lobbies at the moment. I've not been able to try that, so it'll be another thing I'll be talking about in my review. Unfortunately, some guys that got early copies of the review sort of a week or so ago and put their reviews up for the embargo Friday weren't actually aware that there was multiplayer in the game, because that came in a 1.0.1 patch, which I think dropped on Friday. But yeah, when I booted the game up, I had multiplayer options there. You can create a rider. There's a track editor, which I've looked at, which is really good, really easy to use. Probably won't put it in this video because I want to keep it quite short, but just it's really easy to use, really quickly to jump in and test your tracks out. People are going to be having a lot of fun with it, and you can also upload and download tracks as well, so really cool. And then there's some tutorials there which you will need to probably go through if you're new to motocross, just to help you sort of learn the lean-in and the throttles and all that kind of thing. Compound mode returns. It's basically an open area. You can just bike around with all different hills and jumps and valleys, and there's no sort of pressure, no time. You can just get a practice and handle of the bike. Championship mode, just pick a single championship and play it. Some challenges here to unlock cosmetics and stuff, and a time attack mode with leaderboards. So absolutely jam-packed with content. What I want to do here is, in a single event, I just want to see if there's any weather effects, because one of my Twitter followers did specifically ask me to look at that. I can't see an option to add weather. Yeah, I don't know if the weather. Let's have a look at an outdoor track. So Daytona is outdoors. Look at race options again. Yeah, there's no option there to turn weather on and off, so I guess it's just pot luck. I'll just load it up while I'm finishing off this video. Oh, actually, it was there, wasn't it, on the R button? Sorry. R button there, so wet, raining. Let's have a look at the rain. Press one button. Let's get this loading up. And I'll just finish off this video with this little clip here of the weather, see how the frames per second works, see if the performance is still as good. As I say, this game is out on Tuesday, the 4th of February, and it's going to be £53.99 in the UK and $39.99 in America. So if you're in the UK and you like the look of this, I would definitely consider going the American route. I've got a video on the channel of how to set up an account for another region. If you're not sure how to do that, it's very straightforward. Definitely worth doing, because you can pick up some bargains from America and Canada, Japan, if you set up a few different accounts. So I'll definitely look into that if you haven't already. This is from Milestone, and they've made some great racing games on the Switch. Really getting the hang of it now. It feels like every game they release is a little bit better. So that's really good to see, especially if you're a racing game fan like myself. To see someone really getting the hang of the Switch is really cool. So we're going to try this in the rain, see what the performance is like.
It's time to go racing.
Some blurry textures here. The Daytona logo looks a bit blurry. There goes the gate down. So far so good. I would say the rain and sort of the more dingy effects. Whoa, it's an absolute chaos into the first corner. The rain effects make the textures look even blurrier. I don't know if it's because it's kind of the rider's gear is wet. It's got sort of a wet effect on it, but it certainly makes it look blurrier. I don't know if it's necessarily that bad of a thing, you know, because the leathers that the guys are wearing are wet. So you probably wouldn't get crystal clear vision if you're there in real life. I love these muddy tracks. Look how this track looks with the puddles of mud on it. Absolutely superb stuff. I would like to see some more mud being kicked up, but you can see that the riders are already getting dirty. See, I've got a dirty backside. So that's good. So the riders are getting weather effects on them, so that's really cool. Doing right at the minute, look, up to third. Like this track. So we're scrubbing across these little hills, hard on the brakes and then into a hairpin. Oh, we knocked somebody off. Sorry about that. I didn't show the rewind function, did I? We never got to that in the end. So I will show you that in a second. Whoop, do a little trick. As you might see, you get a score pop up in the middle. It gives you the XP. Whoa! Gives you XP basically. If you do something good, you get that green number and it all gets tallied up, and at the end your XP goes up. The career mode, just to quickly finish talking about that. You start off with a sort of test race, and the result of that determines what teams come in for you. There's teams in this year's game throughout the career mode, different sponsors and real life teams that want to sort of sign you, so that's really cool. And you start off in the lower spec series and have to complete that series first before you can unlock the actual World Supercross series. Supercross or motocross, one of the two. But somehow we've wrangled ourselves into first place. We're actually doing alright, apart from going off the track and stacking it. So here we're going to use the rewind function. So press R, the right bumper. You can see here we can rewind back to a point. Let's rewind to this corner. Get around now. Let's see if we can take this jump a bit better this time. We can. Keep it straight. Oh, but we're being chased down by Tomac. But you can see, hopefully this video's helped you see what this game's all about. See that, you know, if you can practice at it, you can get some really exciting racing. And I mean, racing can be exciting anyway, obviously, that's the point of it. But when it's kind of you versus the track versus everybody else, then that's what makes it even more exciting, because you've really got to fight the track, you've got to learn it, and you've got to ride it to the best of your ability, and also, obviously, beat everyone else that you're racing against. So, really, really fun. So, there's the end of the video. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed that. If you've got any questions about this one, drop me a comment below. Please give me a like and subscribe if you're new here. Really appreciate that. Obviously, as you can see here, this weather affected track still running like an absolute dream. No slowdown or performance issues. Congratulations once again to Milestone for the achievements here. You've done a great job on this one, and I am absolutely loving it. So I will get my full review out in the week. Look out for that. Hit the bell icon if you want to be notified when that goes live. And all that's left to say is thanks for watching, and I will see you all on the next video. Thanks everyone. Bye bye.